Okay. We continue with Szymon Czyżewski. I'm sorry, I'm that terrible. One can think of many reasons why we should make distribution atlases. No doubt they are an important means to share knowledge and popularize the group itself. Szymon will present an update on the Orthoptera distribution atlas for Poland. Please.
This one? Yes. Okay. Ah, perfect. Okay. So, hello everybody. I'm going to present the Atlas project that started in Poland 2018 with all my colleagues here, and I'm going to present the achievements and perspectives of this Atlas and how the work is going, basically. Yes, so first of all, it's Polish, like most of the atlases, national Orthoptera atlas. So Poland is kind of on the border between Central and Eastern Europe, one can say. And first I would like to give you just a short overview of what kind of Orthopteran habitats you can find in Poland, what kind of habitats we are working in, looking for Orthopterans, and the kind of collecting data from. So, like most of Poland is plains, consists of plains, which are covered like the most. I will show the most interesting, more diverse Orthopteran habitats. So, the most diverse Orthopteran habitat for Orthopterans in the plains are sandy, dry grasslands. Like you can see here, beautiful places with juniper bushes, with young pines or pine forest edges, and maybe the most characteristic species is Myrmotectix maculatus there. If you go a little bit farther south, then you have beautiful xerothermic dry grasslands, mostly on limestone, with this colorful ones. With they are very special. They are part of this plant association Inoletum enzifolia, and I was trying to think of a characteristic species. I think I chose Ephipiger because it's widespread there, and it occurs especially in these uplands in xerothermic grasslands. But I also wanted to show one special species, Poecilimon ukrainicus, that has a kind of northwestern edge of its range in Poland, but only occurs in the eastern parts of the Polish uplands. If we go further, another interesting Orthoptera region are the Carpathians. And in the Carpathians, I think we also have higher mountains, more than 2,000 meters above sea level, but maybe the most interesting habitat there are extensively used hay meadows, like you can see here, also very beautiful habitat, and maybe the most characteristic species are Isophias there with 6 species in Poland. So, I hope you have some picture of what Orthopterans in Poland look like, but now I would like to go to the Atlas works. So it's basically a first project of this kind in Poland, because Orthopterans have been a little bit left behind compared to other groups of insects in Poland, like Odonata or Lepidopterans or Coleopterans that receive much more interest than non-Orthopterans. So we just started, one can say, but it's going well. We started with basically looking at literature from 19th century. We have from 19th century up until today. We have it quite well included in the atlas by now. Then at the start, we started with people sending us observations in a kind of standardized form. But then fast a Facebook group was opened, which was a great success, and I think it contributed greatly to the spread of interest in Orthopterans in Poland. And many entomologists that didn't know much about Orthopterans started to also look for them, study them, and we got more and more observations, but also I think other people that were interested in other animal groups also started. Then in 2020, we started using ornitho.pl, so that's kind of also a database where people can contribute, where people can send their observations. And we also take observations from other open source databases like iNaturalist, for example. And yes, and of course, we ourselves also try to collect as much data as possible. But for now, these records that we have are mostly randomly collected. We did not do any organized or surveys yet that could be, for example, could be repeated. So this is something hopefully more to come. And museum collection is also on our aim now. The results we have at the moment is 308 papers in our database, 804 observers that contributed, over 52,000 records. And yes, now I would like to kind of show you just an overview of what we have, on what we stand at this moment. So the number here, you see the number of records in each square. The squares are based on a UTM grid, 10 on 10 kilometers, so quite big squares, but Poland also quite a big country, so it's not easy to cover. And here you see the number of records in each square, which may be a good proxy maybe of how well the area is covered, but I think if you look at number of species recorded in each square, you see a very different, a very similar pattern, basically the same. So maybe we can look at a number of species recorded. You see that vast areas are pretty insufficiently covered, and I was trying to kind of think like how can we say how well the area is covered. So at least 11 to 20 species should be present, like the very common species that kind of change between the regions, but should be present rather in every square. And if we calculate this, we can see that I mean there is lots to do, because only 17% of squares have 16 or more species. And I mean, this is if you go to the north, this square that has 16 species may be well covered, or they are decently covered all over. The square is 16 species is decently covered maybe all over Poland, but if you go to the Carpathians or to the upland region, then for sure 16 species, that's not a well covered square. It can be square with 50 species. And another view on it, this is kind of a very high uncertainty level in statistics, because it's just kind of the number of places that have been visited in each square, but I thought nevertheless interesting. So in the squares that have been visited, on average 4 places have been visited in each square. So it's also still not a long way to go. Basically, yeah, but this is yes, but how can we proceed? What can we see at this moment? We can see that like before the 2000s, Orthopterans have been extremely understudied in Poland. But what we can see, maybe an increase around 2009, which may be connected to the translation of the famous Bellman Heiko book, Heuschreckenführer, into Polish. So there is some increase which may be somehow connected to this, and then which I find super beautiful, we see this high increase in Orthopteran observations from the beginning of when the Atlas project started. So clearly, the Atlas contributes to the interest in Orthopterans in Poland, and yes, so we hope to continue on this level and make even more and more people interested in it, which I think the social media contributes greatly to. Yes, I mean this is what we did. This is our like the results at this very moment. Some preliminary results one can say, but as it was shown before, of course, such atlases, such projects have great possibilities for looking at species changes, especially now in the time of the climate change, land use change, as we saw before, quite extreme, strong changes occurring over short time periods. And for example, this example has been shown before from Netherlands, and here you can see maybe the resolution is a bit lower in terms of years, but you can see the extreme expansion of Phaneroptera falcata in Poland until 1990, where it only occurred in the warm upland regions, basically in the xerothermic grasslands only, and it was very rare. And then up until now, from 1991, you can find it in the Baltic Sea and quite common there. So I think that's quite impressive. And so these are important possibilities of such atlas projects. Of course, conservation is also very important. We cannot protect the species or habitats when we don't know what is happening. So we hope this project can contribute to this, and hopefully in the future even more. So future plans that we have for now, it have been only one can say records from the papers and the records randomly collected from random observations that people, entomologists, did. So no organized service. So we would like to start with some organized surveys, especially in the understudied regions, to get a better picture of Orthoptera distribution in Poland. Then museums collections are also on our very first list to do, because there is the next big amount of historical data that is only present in museum collections in Poland that nobody really has looked at for a long time. So this is one, and of course the kind of end idea of this project is to publish a book, an atlas of Polish orthopterans, and with information, and that should also then foster interest in orthopteras in Poland. Yes, and last but not least, also create a red list for Polish orthoptera with some conservation ideas, and maybe implement some monitoring, some stable surveys in the future to look at the endangered species, like for example the declining Psophus stridulus. Yes, you can find the website of our project in the an abstract book, and you're very welcome to visit the website. You can find all the distribution maps there and like some additional information. So if you're interested, also the contact to our team. And yes, that was it. I would like to thank big thanks to the whole Atlas project team. That of course this work wouldn't have been possible with. I would like to thank all the contributors, many people, some contributing with only few records, but that's also super valuable. And last but not least, I thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Szymon. One question only. No one? Online? Is there anything on the... I'm very sorry, no questions. Thanks.
No, perhaps I missed it at the beginning. How many species do you have in Poland?
87 species, 88 species, because one new species was discovered 3 years ago, so 88 at this moment.
Thank you very much, Szymon.